The North-South players have been practicing since Sunday, trying to show scouts what they can do.
Beginning of the year, nobody knew me that well, but now I'm going to show them that I can play with anybody.
I'm just trying to go out there and have a good game, you know, practice hard, get the scouts looking at me doing practice, go out there Saturday and have a nice game. Hopefully someone will be scouted.
They want to see just players that's willing and give the effort.
I think they're looking for a lot of good players, hard working, and who want to win bad.
Okay, so the players and coaches and, yes, myself are enjoying ourselves here on the beach. You might say, well, this game is just for the scouts to kind of see all the talent. But, hey, when it comes game time, these players really want to win.
We lost last year, and that's all the coach is talking about, winning Saturday. Our defensive coach said this is his last game of the year, and he want to go out on a good note.
Like they were saying, last year we lost, so we've got to build back up our character and just show them that we can do it this year.
Reporting from Myrtle Beach, Ken Slats, Wpde Action Sports. FMU started this season great. The Pats record 6-1. They haven't played a game though since early December.
Now we got to start all over. The momentum's been broken, and we got to go back out and prove that we can play basketball again.
I can't imagine what our expectations could be if we really set our mind to it. I think that we have the ultimate chance of winning a Peach Belt if we work as hard as we have from the beginning, and I don't see any changes in our attitudes.
FMU ended 1992 with a big win over Coker. Next up, however, for 1993, a tough one at Pembroke State.
Very tough team. They're one of the best three-point shooting teams in the nation. They're ranked in the top 10, Division II, and we've got to get out and guard those people.
They played a couple of games now. We haven't played any games, so they're going to have probably a conditioning edge on us, but we're going to give it our best and try to go down there. They play a lot of zone, which is going to help me a lot.
I feel it's going to be a pretty good game. They had a really good team. I never seen them play. But we proved that we can play with anybody. If we play together, we can play and beat anybody.
And the Pats will have that chance. The Peach Belt era for FMU has begun. In Florence, Ken Slats, Wpde Action Sports. Oklahoma transfer Marquis Hicks became eligible at halftime of one of Coastal's games in Hawaii, and Kiki, as he's known, shot 5 of 8 from the field and scored 13 points.
I'm happy to be back. Sit out a whole year, that was kind of hard. I was anxious to play, especially when I first got here last year, watching the team play, seeing things I can do to help, and I really wanted to get out there.
In 4 games, Hicks has averaged more than 20 points a game and already has hit 11 three-pointers.
Kiki's a scorer. He's going to score. That I don't mind. I can use all the help I can get. Kiki brings quickness, ball handling, scoring. That's all the aspects you want out of a point guard. He's a great person off the court. On the court, he's a real competitor. I'm glad to have him on the team.
He gives us a point guard that can handle the basketball under extreme pressure, and not only can he handle it and he pass the ball, but he's an outstanding shooter from the three-point range. So it gives us a great outside attack along with Tony Duncan's inside attack.
And that Duncan-Hicks combo has averaged more than 44 points a game. The Chants have all the pieces in place heading into Big South play this weekend. In Conway, Ken Slats, Wpde Action Sports. With NCAA sanctions pending, the future of USC hoops is uncertain. But what is certain is that on the court, this team is proving that they belong in the SEC.
The fight and desire in this basketball team is very rewarding.
5-6 isn't the greatest record in the world, but the Gamecocks are 1-1 in the Southeastern Conference. A big win at Tennessee and a tough game against a tough opponent, Arkansas, has brought this team some confidence.
There's an excitement and a confidence in our team. We talked all along about earning respect and improvement, and the credit goes to our basketball team, especially our veterans, for hanging tough.
I think player for player has a lot of confidence in themselves and things that we're trying to do. And then you compare it to to the beginning of the year in November and December. So I think we've come a long way.
The new guys that we got now, we're playing with a lot of confidence, and everybody's getting the feel for one another, and the chemistry is picking up. You can tell that by the game that we played against Arkansas.
And if that confidence level keeps rising, the Gamecocks could be a major force in the conference. In Columbia, Ken Slats, WPDE Action Sports. The Gamecocks held Ole Miss to just 44 points over the first 27.5 minutes.
Our defense that set the tone for us early on and allowed us to establish a lead, get into our running game. We're coming along in our running game, feeling more comfortable with what we're trying to get done in transition.
The game was put away early in the second half. Chris Lesso hit 4 straight shots for 9 points.
Come out and hit a couple of shots in the second half and then help the team, but I'm happy to to play real well, and I'm glad that we the team really come out and kept the tempo up in the second half.
But for this win, the defense was the key, especially rebounding.
I want to compliment our guys for playing physical in the paint and doing a nice job on the bank boards, where I see we won the battle of the boards.
I don't know. I mean, I think one thing with me, I like to I want to play consistent, and that's something I think I've done over the 4 years I've been here.
I'm most pleased with the chemistry, team effort, and the defensive intensity.
In Columbia, Ken Slats, WPDE Action Sports. The Chants were back at home, and playing in the coop always helps.
I think it's very important. It makes it a lot easier for your team to get ready to play, and the crowd gets into it and makes you play harder on defense and makes you cut harder on offense. And I thought our crowd was a big factor tonight, and I appreciate that very much.
It feels good to be home again, man. I've been on the road for a long time.
Unfortunately, mistakes were made by the staff members. I have worked very hard to be a part of the process to correct this situation. My sincere thanks goes to Dr. Palms and his staff for giving me the opportunity to be involved in the process of making recommendations to assure that there is no reoccurrence.
So here's what occurred. USC illegally recruited William Cunningham. That dealt with paid travel expenses. They also illegally recruited Cortez Barnes. He stayed in the athletic dorm when he was ineligible. Also, he was paid to take courses at Liberty U.
It simply is not possible for this staff to continue here in the best interests of all involved.
Now the big news, both assistant coaches have agreed to resign effective May 31st, so they will finish out the year. As far as Steve Newton, he has agreed to resign at the end of the season and become an assistant athletic director.
I want to make clear that there was no pressure exerted in any way on Coach Newton in this decision.
On the court, the team must continue. For the underclassmen, they're playing for a lame duck coach.
I have no control of what happened with the coaches or whatever. But as relationship goes, we had a decent relationship with the coaches.
I would like to observe that this action by Coach Newton, I believe to be admirable and courageous and quite characteristic in putting the university and the team first.
Final testing at Daytona is kind of like a football team just before the Super Bowl. Most of the work is done, and the progress, well, in some cases, it's great.
I'm just tickled to death. The whole team has worked hard, and we've come a long way in a month to get this car as competitive as it is. We need to have a good season. We started out here in Daytona in '92 by having a shot to win this race till about 7 or 8 laps to go, and it broke, and it seemed like that kind of was the way our whole season went.
Yeah, we're pretty happy. A little bit surprised
after the Fords were here for 3 days, they picked up a lot of speed over what we had saw, earlier. They're up to 190 now, and that scares us. See how it goes this 3 days for us. It's kind of show and tell time now because no more testing. Next time you come back here, it's for real.
And coming back for real is soon. In fact, too soon for some drivers.
We've only picked up about 2 or 3 tenths, and we probably need about another half a second, So, the guys are going to work really hard, and they'll get what they can get, and if they can't get what we need to get, then we'll have to really rely on the draft. But we got a couple days here to, try to work a little bit harder.